Wing it.
Hey, welcome to Crippled System, episode 146.
Boosh!
Hey, that was pretty good. Except for we didn't say names afterwards. My name is Andy.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Brian. The
Yeah,
one and only.
Boosh!
The one and
Booyah.
only.
Done.
Brian is a special guest star. He comes to us from
Brian.
Battle Driven.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to know what it was like talking with people who played War Machine better than we did.
What?
I guarantee we're better than them.
It's a
We're
toss-up.
a satirical podcast.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Hi. How's it going?
I'm doing just fine.
I'm not saying anything bad about anybody now that we're recording.
Bipolar bear.
We're just gonna piss on the whole podcast community right now.
No, just not the whole community, just the shitty parts.
Well, which ones do we do next?
Fucking Crippled System.
fuck those
those
guys.
guys.
Fuck
I mean,
Crippled System.
I don't
It
even
is
listen to
pretty
that
bad.
podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's like no. I don't know. It doesn't make sense right now. You're listening to me.
I'm just being mean to Battle Driven because I'm jealous that you cheated on us with them.
I know. I was like, well, Battle Driven's my backup plan if the bottom ever falls out on Crippled System.
Why would it ever fall out?
I don't know. You might.
No, I'm curious. Why do you... So you feel that we're going to die?
Someday.
Are you gonna kill us?
Someday it might happen. Well, if Brian comes back,
Well,
he might just be like,
I highly doubt Brian's coming back.
hey,
One day.
The day that Nathan stops coming to the podcast will be the day that we'll probably die.
What if Brian comes back that day?
That will probably
can-
mean that he just killed you.
we can only ride crackers and eggs for so long.
Yep.
I think Brian was a subtle glue in this podcast. I think he didn't get his. I think he was, workmanship. He didn't have the Jeremy or the me like over the top thing, or
Yeah.
you with all your holes and ink.
And yeah,
But man, crackers and egg was the gift that kept on giving.
yeah. I
You tried it?
no when I when I
God,
when I make like I'm super fat, but whatever. Whenever I make like deep or chicken, like I'll bread it in pancake batter first, like not the batter, but the powder, or whatever, and then I'll put eggs on it, and then I'll dip it in Ritz crackers, and that's how I bread my chicken. But what I always do is I always accidentally overestimate how many crackers I need. So I'll take the remaining eggs and crackers and mix them up and fry it into a little patty, and I just named it the Brian.
But you cooked it.
I know.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
I did cook it, which is
Did you try it at least raw?
no, I would never eat.
He does it with
fucking raw
saltines, though,
crackers
doesn't he?
and Eggs.
Yeah, it's saltines in that.
Saltines and raw egg.
I
No,
have not-
salmonella is not on the inside of the egg; it's on the outside.
I
That is
haven't-
actually true.
I know.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten to that point in my life where I'm not like musclehead enough to take on raw eggs, and I'm not Brian stupid to take on raw eggs and crackers.
Just don't suck on them. Don't suck on eggs.
But
What?
you just have to let that stuff slide down your throat, though. I
Yeah.
assume you can't let it mellow in there.
No, you don't try and taste it.
No, you just take it down.
You chew it.
Champ.
Chew it.
We're
Maybe
still
that's
talking
how
about
Brian
eggs,
likes
right?
it. Though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eggs. Yep. Eggs.
We hadn't switched topics
Eggs.
at all.
Eggs. Yep. Eggs. Eggs down the throat. Battle driven.
Tort says that episode of Battle Driven was a podcast art.
I know it was probably one of the best ones they've ever done. I mean, they should probably pay me more for it.
Wait, hold on.
I might still be on Chain Attack. I don't know. I haven't checked.
You are still. Yep. At the end of every episode so far, you're
Boom.
still. It's movie advice from Nathan Hoffman.
What?
Yeah, I've been on like the last dozen or so episodes of Chain Attack.
See,
Why
we're
the fuck is everyone else getting?
You weren't
getting
here when I
stuff-
recorded
Yeah,
it.
I know, but why is everyone else getting invites to everything else and I don't?
Did you hear Ethan on Oz Machine?
Yeah, it was a good show.
I might have just broke my phone.
I was on Oz Machine once.
Yeah, we all were. They all told us to shut up. And then
I wasn't on Oz Machine.
I did the first ADR batch. They asked for my input on convergence.
Yeah,
No.
I remember that.
I had a really bad mic, so it was a terrible episode. That was before I broke my headset in half and bought a new one.
That
I don't. That kind of brings up a small conversation we were having before. I really don't like Skype on podcasts. I don't like the audio quality. If the audio quality isn't there for me, I don't want to listen to it.
The other issue,
Which is, you shouldn't listen to our podcast. Our audio quality is
Hey.
shitty.
the one thing we have going for us is audio quality and beards. The two things amongst the things we have going for us are fear, surprise, audio quality, and beards. It's a
Fear?
reference.
Did you say fear surprise?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was making the reference. What was I saying? No, the other thing with Skype is not just the audio quality, but you can tell. It's like season 4 of Arrested Development, where the interaction isn't there because you can tell that one of the people isn't actually there.
Yeah.
And so they can't cue to other people like, ooh, I have something to add to the conversation. They just have to like awkwardly jump in, and then all of a sudden you just have a robot voice, and then.
Yeah, that's where the audio quality gets to me.
But even just not that, just the fact that there's not a conversational flow as much, I find.
Well, and there is the thing that I will give to Skype podcasts is that sometimes you get into points, and I'm probably gonna use Battle Driven as an example, but it might be a poor one at that. Is that these guys gel pretty well together for who they are. I mean, they bitch with the same ferocity that each one does. So they're so far from each other, though, that Skype is really the only way that they can make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's as lucky as we are to be just surrounded by cool people who work together. I mean, if you listen to Muse, they have to Skype in Keith now because they just can't find anyone to replace him.
And that's the weird thing, because like with the Battle Driven or ones like that where everyone's Skyping, it's not as bad. But I listened to some Muse ones on accident, and what would happen is like 4 people would be talking to each other and having a conversation, and every once in a while Keith would talk, but you could tell that like he wasn't talking as much as he would or as organically with the conversation as he would if he was physically there.
He's
Yeah.
not invested since he's not actually there.
Somebody should make a Skype thing where it has like a little red light that pops up. So like they can press it. So he like I'm going to try to speak now.
my
I've
turn.
got something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard. It is a lot easier to interrupt someone while they're on Skype. I'm pretty sure I manhandled some of those guys because our podcast is much more like we don't have a whole lot of gaps in between our conversation. We just kind of flow and let it roll. And when I first was on here, I always felt like I was going to interrupt everybody, but now I'm just an asshole when I talk to people. But on there, I was just like, bam, you can't say shit because I'm going to talk now.
Yeah, but we do a good job of interrupting each other.
You think so?
Yeah, but in an organic way. Like that worked. You were in between sentences. It was good timing. It flowed.
Yeah, we got it.
We rarely trample.
No, we don't. Not
We'll
often.
jockey for position, but not a lot of trampling.
Except when Jeremy was on the podcast, there
Jeremy-
was a lot of
yeah.
trampling going on.
Yeah,
You listen to some of the episodes with Jeremy. Jeremy was, I
he's a trampler.
gotta talk.
Force that beast.
I farted.
Maybe we
Nice.
should have one of the microphones underneath the table so that listeners can hear our bodily functions, and then maybe we can make a game out of it later where they try to like put our farts to who did it.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
Would
that
be.
would have been more interesting when one of the episodes we had a female cast member.
Well, Ethan's close enough.
Eh,
He looks like one from behind.
Can we hear you queef?
no.
Jesus Christ. I think the game should be called Farts Who Did It. That would be it.
But yeah, I don't know. It was a fun episode to go on there and screw around and talk about War Machine and bitch a little
And
bit.
how trolls are doomed forever.
I didn't think they were doomed forever.
That was the
I
episode
never took
before
that.
you. The
Yeah,
episode
that was the
before you was
episode
just
before
2
me.
hours of them crying about trolls.
Yeah, it is what it is. If that's what makes you happy.
Speaking of which, how'd Waaaghpaca go?
It was fine. I actually, one of the,
Did you go, Ethan?
No, I was like, I'm not driving that
Yeah.
far for a 35-pointer.
I was ringing because Andy had 7 people signed up for it, and I think and I know Andy wanted to touch on this, so I don't know if I'm stepping on your dick or not, but I'm going to reverse all of the bad things I've said about Waaaghpaca and say that it was actually really good, and I feel like we should probably focus on trying to get a little bit more involved with it. It was a really neat experience. One of the things I'm still pretty young in terms of my interactions with the wargaming community, and the one that I went into was very juvenile in of itself too. So I don't see many things for boards outside of like some dirt on a painted plaque and then some shit terrain that either got bought on the internet somehow or some like Halloween town where you got that stuff from, or now like the Muse terrain out there is probably pretty much standard for me. That's basically all I ever used for my tables. But then I got to see like things there where it was like bi-level tables and ones that had the little like sides built on it, so there was like an actual scenery in the background too, and then there was one that had like a river going through it, and then there was a little like water wheel turning on it. So that stuff was really cool to see, and I really did think that the people there were going to be a bunch of jerks, but they're actually really nice. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself, and the War Machine people were really good. I think our only problem really was that the expectations for what we were to do there probably weren't really well defined to us, because the communication with the Waaaghpaca people was a little static. I didn't really get a whole lot out of them when I tried to ask questions. So I think if this becomes like a Crippled system, Madison people trying to get their hands into it, I think that it could get pretty large, and it'd be really nice to see just more War Machine there in general, because people are coming over and checking out our stuff and looking at all the models and just looking at the game in general. And I think we were definitely the least represented game there. I think Infinity maybe had 12 tables set up.
Yeah, they had definitely at least double what we had there, but it's a smaller game too, or as in smaller numbers of models for the game.
Yeah, but if people started getting behind it a little bit more, I think that the tournament could easily pull 30 people in just War Machine,
sure,
if not more, because it's in a weird location.
I had a lot of people emailing me specifically because I was listed as the TO that was on there, and a lot of people interested in going. But again, what we always said for the past 6 weeks is that the price point of entry for it was way too much for the type of event that we were going to have there. I did find out some other things kind of behind the scenes. The reasoning behind that is that they were taking money from people before they had some of the tournaments already set up. So when they were planning one-day tournaments, they didn't have a way to fairly refund money. So they basically just charge everybody that $20 or $30 weekend pass to come there. So that's next year. That will be different. So it will not be, where you have to take a second mortgage on your ironclad to come out to the event.
Yeah, $30 for a 35-point event. When you're paying $1 a
No,
point.
$50.
Yeah, 50.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah, because there's
50.
30 for the pass, then like
$20 for the event. Yep.
Even that's insane.
It is
Yeah.
pretty intense. Like, the thing is, if there were more reasons to go there for a War Machine player outside of just for one tournament, it would be good. They had a guy from Chimera who was there,
Yep,
and
Bob.
he was selling some stuff. I bought some stuff off of him because I can't go to one of these things.
They didn't
without
have a
buying
guy
shit.
from Chimera. They had the
guy, yeah.
the owner of Chimera.
When I saw him, I was like, I had a hard time placing him, but I knew him. I knew his face. I knew his voice, and I'm like, I've seen you before. I just don't remember. And then when he said Chimera, I was like, oh yeah, now I remember, because I haven't been there since Magic and War Machine, and any Chimera store is basically dead for all I know. It's silent from what I've seen. But
I've known him since I was in grade school.
He was a legit guy, and he talked to me for a while, and it seemed like he actually wanted to talk to me instead of just like talking to me because I was there. But at any rate, that was really the only thing that was set up there that was like an additional thing. If you were a fantasy player or something, I could see where paying the $20 or the $30 for the weekend pass is legit, because that's what you do there all day, all the time. But I think, did we figure out that next year we can try and like make that a little different as far as price is concerned?
Yeah, pricing for next year will be different, and we'll have different. It'll be handled differently. It will not be $50 to go to this event.
Yep.
The only requirements is they have some other silly things for the event. So they have all weekend, you can, in any of your games, you have like an iron die, and you could re-roll any of your things.
I really wanted one of those fucking dice.
I got one. It's ridiculously heavy, but it's just something you can re-roll one thing during the entire game, which for War Machine makes it pretty legitimate.
It's a pretty big deal.
It is a really big deal.
In fantasy, it doesn't matter for shit half the
No.
time, but for War Machine, it was the difference between me killing someone's caster and them getting my overrun target to tough. Or my overrun, like not the target of the spell, because I figured out how it works now.
Good.
It was
Proud of
the
you.
thing that I intended to kill to make overrun happen tough.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
with the reroll.
With the reroll.
Yeah, and then they also have kind of like an odd little thing, which is like the Man of Intrigue. That is just a simple model that's in anybody's army, but in War Machine there isn't any kind of thing other than maybe making it objective. Your Man of Intrigue. I made a just a separate card that we would just accompany with your armies. It was kind of like a mix between a Madeline Corbeau and a Reinhold. It just kind of everybody got.
One of my opponents did make a model specifically for his Man of Intrigue and use that as the Man of Intrigue. Is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's technically what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to have like a custom model be like this model. I will be making some changes next year because somebody did decide to use their Denny 3 as their Man of Intrigue, which is a huge base model.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Might want to require it be small base or something.
Just medium or small base, I think it would be a perfectly good one. You could have an ogre and be a Man of Intrigue.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, well,
Somebody did have I saw one of the Legion players had a Man of Intrigue model that was an ogre, and he was an ogre with a mohawk and a cannon. It looked like it was John.
Sure.
Just modeled differently. It was pretty neat. That was one of the other things, too, that I think might have turned some people off from this if they were paying attention to Waaaghpaca at all, was that I think there's this idea that that your army must be fully painted in order to play there, or else they'll take you off the table. That's not the case. The thing is it functions in what I would consider like more of a European style of gaming, where you have clubs, and at the end of the weekend there's like an overall club winner depending on how many like tournaments they either won or are painting like best in show things that have been won. And the thing is if you're playing for your club and you have unpainted models in your army, then you just lose points for your club. So it's not it's not like Adepticon where they just rip you off the table. Not that Adepticon does that, but it's kind of the
Technically, by the rules, they're supposed to.
Yeah.
But at this one, it wasn't as detrimental to your enjoyment of the game. So War Machine, I think, above all games, seems to have more unpainted armies than not.
Well, that comes from, I think, amongst all minis games, it puts the most focus on being a competitive game, more than a hobby game.
Yep.
I mean, the hobby's still part of it, but like things like fantasy, you're painting. Well, even Games Workshop, despite what their names is, they will admit that they are a hobby workshop first. Like the game is just an excuse to have your miniatures be on the table so you can all ooh and ah at them.
Yep.
Like they do not consider themselves a game company. And I think that's why War Machine is so different than that, is that they're really the ones that front and center just go, it's actually about the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing at one point in time there was a rule, maybe you can shed some light on this for me just so I can bury it, but like at one point you didn't have to have the model in its entirety on the base, like you could just have the legs of a Stormclad and it would be okay.
I don't think that was ever actually a legal thing.
Okay, maybe it was just some misconception that I picked up.
It's more
like in casual games, people are okay with that sometimes, but that's never been tournament legal.
I see a torsoless galleon all the time.
Well, yeah, we have one person in our meta that has a galleon, but it's mainly just to fit models around it.
Yeah, because it's fully one he just takes it off, and he can put on when he needs to. That's just so you don't have to do like Titan charging.
It's not like we have people trying to hold up their gargantuans with clipped up clothing hangers or anything like that.
That was one time, and you can fuck off.
What?
Don't you remember that, like the tier list event? I ran double Woldwrath, and one of mine fell apart. So I used some clothes hangers to
That wasn't when I walked up and just yanked the face out of him, was it?
Yeah.
You told me I could.
That was the other one. That was one that didn't fall apart.
Okay. That was one that was
you could break the one that didn't break.
Listen, I asked him. I very clearly I said, "Hey, can I rip the head off of this model?" And he said, "Yeah, go ahead." So I did, and then he was surprised.
No, I part of me didn't think you'd do it, but then I remembered you're an asshole.
I asked permission because I was like, I want to show you something, but to show it to you, I need to rip the head off of this Woldwrath. May I do so?
No. You didn't say may I. You probably said can I, in which he was agreeing with you. Yes, you could do that. Had you said may I break this model?
My mom's an English teacher. I would have said may I.
Are you sure? Are you sure? You've been saying can I for the whole
Nathan has
bit?
the wooden spoon scars for it.
I do, that bitch.
So yeah, I guess like all over, Waaaghpaca was really interesting. I got to meet 7 people that I've never met before in the War Machine community. I don't think they network socially, like through internet media, but it was nice to.
Well, a couple of them actually have listened to the podcast.
Oh, cool.
But not many of them. So yeah, I feel really bad for the past like 6 weeks that we've talked about this in our announcements. So we've given them kind of like, this is gonna suck. You know.
I don't think you guys were that bad. I mean, we poo-pooed the price, and
price
I was
was the biggest
surprised that
issue.
there actually was a place called Waaaghpaca.
If you ever went to,
I thought that was just an orc joke.
if you ever went to Baraboo game nights, you probably would have had a much different picture.
Were
from
you
it.
guys poo-pooing?
I sure as shit was. I got so bad to the point, and I apologize to the Waaaghpaca people in advance for this because you all seem like very nice people.
It was everybody there was amazing.
Yeah, it was good time, great. I didn't have one bad experience,
Brian was there.
but I was legit. I pulled punches except for the last round. But my lists in War Room were titled Crappaca.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, no! My third round, I was working on 3 hours of sleep because I played games in Baraboo until 1 a.m. And I woke up, got dressed, and got ready. Andy showed up. We did the McDonald's thing and had a chat in the ride. But then, like as the day went on, my day got shittier and shittier. And then I paid $15 for all-you-can-eat burgers that probably made me sick. So at the end of the second round, I just like walked out, got some water, and almost fell asleep on a bench. And then some kid gave me a high five because my hand was sticking up because I was holding my head like this. Fucking idiot. So in the third round, I was just like so dead tired, and the guy I was playing with, it seemed like he was playing. A lot of these guys hadn't played scenarios before, so it was a very new experience for them. So he was playing Denny 2. And I got right up in his grill with my mostly infantry army and was like, you should feat now. That's what I was thinking. I'm going to get a Denny feat, and then that'll be that. But he held it because I think he had a stalker that was trying to walk up to behind Gorshade and just like pop him on. He was using the feat to lower defense to get at him.
Sure.
When he only needs 7s. But I was so tired and ready to be done with the game that I just ran a Black Bane feated and killed her on no camp. And I was just like, top of 2.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
I felt kind of, but I did talk to the guy afterwards. Every opponent, I talked to them and tried to make sure that they would like understand some of the rules they might have been getting wrong. Or like one of the Borka guys, I taught him how to top Borka off first and then fill up the stone when it was full. So there was a lot of exchange happening. So I did talk to the guy about his Denny list a lot and talked to him about P-Scar because he really liked her too. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I was like, get the fuck off my table. I'm going to go sleep now. Yeah. And then the whole way home, Andy decided to give me an education in metal instead of let me sleep.
Yeah, that's what I should do.
And then
I should have did that all the way up.
When I did get home, though, there were 4 things I needed to do. I needed to sleep, I needed to shit, I needed a shower, and I needed to vomit, but I didn't know in which order those things would happen.
Same time, all in the shower.
It basically was, so like I peed, and then after I peed, I puked just straight down, and then I turned around and shit, and then got in the shower, and then fell asleep.
In the shower?
Yep.
In your shit?
No, not in my, that was in the toilet. I got up, then got in the shower.
Oh. I thought you were in the shower and you peed and turned around and shit and then fell asleep.
No, that's what I was
the
saying. You
shower
should have
was-
done because then it would have been all
You
one
just
hole.
like stomp it down.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to turn my shower into like one of those like 1900s or like early 1800s like grape stomping things. Like I'd make wine out of my own bile and feces.
Only if you slip and fall and make noises like the grape lady.
Well, if it probably would happen. There's like a bunch
Poor
of
lady.
benches in my shower, and it's really narrow. So if I did, I'd probably like bonk my head back and forth like a Plinko chip. So that was Waaaghpaca.
You could put pegs in on the bathtub ground, and then when you poo, the poo can bounce on the pegs like Plinko.
That would be one thing to do. Yeah, but I had righteous diarrhea shits. I tell you, those burgers were it just wasn't what didn't hit. How was your brat? Like
The brat was fine-ish.
yeah, they were.
I didn't get sick.
I ate a lot of pineapple. Maybe I don't know. Am I allergic to pineapple now? I'm not sure.
I don't know how you can be allergic to pineapple.
I don't know. As allergic.
Speaking of that, we should have this is not a good topic for podcast, but we should have a Samba
As
day.
bad as his feces.
Yeah.
is like,
Amanda and I, there was a Groupon thing for Sambas not too long ago, like just at the tail end of December. And on the last day, we went in, and we either had to come in at 9 or come in the next week. So we said next week, couldn't go. So now we're like fiending to go. So Sambas is it's on my radar.
Sunday
Sunday
lunch
morning,
is
yes.
like $20, and
cool.
it is completely worth it. I mean, that's
Well, yeah, and I saw one of the guys just like bringing out this big stick of meat, and I was like, I don't know what's bigger, that stick of meat or my dick in my pants right now.
it was the stick of meat.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes it's a toss up.
But I mean, you miss out on a couple of the meats on the brunch. But I mean,
You miss out on the barbecue chicken and
Yeah.
the Parmesan pork. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit about either of those.
Yeah, you get
You
flank
miss
steak.
out on one of the sausages, but I actually like the Sunday breakfast sausage replacement for it more.
Yes.
And so you actually miss out on... There's 2 different beefs on dinner time, and at the brunch time, there's only one of them. So you're missing out on one of the beefs. The Parmesan encrusted pork becomes the honey ham. You lose the barbecue chicken entirely, and they change the sausage. But that's okay.
yeah,
Because I
you
like
have
the other
flank steak.
sausage more. Who gives a shit about Parmesan pork when you're there for beef anyway? And so you're getting your sirloin. Yeah.
And you
You got like
have,
scrambled eggs and bacon and stuff.
Yeah, and you have pineapple.
Well, of course, they keep the
Roasted
pineapple.
pineapple,
That's all
which
that
is
matters.
fucking
is the
amazing.
roasted pineapple.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No matter how much I tell them to, they won't give me just a whole pineapple off of the skewer onto my plate.
You just shook.
I almost did go to the Schofield or whatever event today, but then I bailed on it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Plus, I'd probably still be there right now. Otherwise, I mean, I know we kind of like ran right over announcements, but I think there's February 20th. There's an event in Oshkosh. It's like a 50-point list steamroller. I think this one's actually you have to play both.
That's on the 20th.
The 20th of February.
Yeah, seems like everything's going on the 20th.
It is
Yep.
the same day as a 35-point event that I set up about a month ago in Baraboo for our league people that are there. I will probably be running it remotely.
I worked that
You
weekend.
could bail on the tournament that you're running.
I can't get over it, man. I think I mentioned Pete's Garage too much to where if I say it one more time, he'll probably murder me. But then before that is on the 13th at the Realm of the Dragon. There's a Devastation release event there, so that's a Milwaukee event that I'm just 100% going to get to. Other than that, I haven't seen much in terms of Wisconsin for March, so...
Maybe I'll run something in March.
Yeah, I think
Paul-
we were saying something about it.
Paul's supposed to be running an event in March.
Oh, okay.
One of the 18 press gangers that we have in town.
We only have 5.
Oh, who the hell's Paul?
It's that one
Hasselbrook.
guy.
He's he's originally from Springfield.
Never mind, Paul.
Like where Cool
I know.
Kurt's from.
I know his name.
Yeah.
I know his name.
He's the newest of our
Yeah.
5 press
He
gangers.
plays the Morticians for Guild Ball.
Who fucking cares?
People
Guild
like-
Ball's shitty and dumb and shitty, and you should never play that shitty game. You should play War Machine instead. Right, Andy?
Yeah. That's
Bum.
hey,
That's
is
a
that-
segue.
is that
That's
a
a
segue?
fucking
That's a
segue, bitches.
So-
That's professional podcasting. Don't
So-
do what Donnie don't does.
Yeah, exactly. So that is a perfect example of what you should not do when you're trying to promote your game that you want to have other people play. Is rag on the game that they're currently playing.
That was mine to play with.
I was checking if he had superglued it from last week,
No,
but
I
he
have
has
not.
not. He
No.
has not.
That's why you guys should stop playing with it so it doesn't break any further.
I think it's irreparable at this point because even with the superglue, it won't.
still
It,
gonna-
won't,
it's-
it
Well,
needs
I
to
bet-
flex by its nature.
Well, I can put a clamp around it.
You can pin it.
The clamps.
Just pin
Yeah.
The clamps.
Well, that is basically a clamp.
The clamps.
it. Clamp the clamp.
But
Go on.
my subjects don't matter. I'm just permanently derailed. But that's kind of one of the biggest issues I have with Guild Ball now. And it's not specifically one person. There's a few
Like
people.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a few people that basically they want to promote Guild Ball, but then they shit on, War Machine. Or they shit on any other game. It goes with any game, too. It's like you're trying to promote War Machine, and then you shit on Warhammer 40K or something like that.
Well, that's just easy.
It's easy, but we try not, at least when I'm trying to promote it, we try not to degrade somebody else's game.
I try to keep my promoting of War Machine and my shitting of Warhammer separate.
Yes.
Separate, but like I actually, because I do hate Warhammer. as a game, and I love War Machine, but I am conscious when I'm talking to somebody about War Machine. I'm like, okay, Nathan, now is not the time to explain to them that Age of Sigmar is the worst thing ever. Save that for another conversation, because you're right. It does no favor. It makes you look like an asshole, which actually makes your game less appealing to them.
Correct. Rather than saying, hey, why don't you come over here and try this out? Instead, you don't want to insult somebody. And if that's one of the games that they really enjoy playing, insulting their game is basically insulting them.
Well, I think I somehow made somebody from Malifaux quit War Machine during Malifaux Gate. There was a YouTube comment where someone said, "Oh, I'm glad I'm leaving this War Machine game now. Fucking blah."
Yeah.
All because I pissed on. I didn't even piss. I dribbled. I shook. I pissed on something else. Probably the hour and a half that I sacrifice every night for this thing. Not every night, just Sunday. And then the dribble from that landed on a Malifaux person, and it just tainted their whole piss pool.
They were really angry.
They were super angry.
I talked them down, though. They liked me by the end of that.
I thought about rejoining a weird place after that just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
But I think that they probably have a wanted poster.
I meant to post a link in that thread to the next episode where you guys talked about Malifaux for an hour.
Yeah.
And you meant, because they kept talking about how you were ignorant and couldn't possibly know what you were talking about.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm the next episode you mentioned being whatever the fuck they call
They're a
press
henchman.
gangers. A henchman. You mentioned being a henchman pundit is what Guild Ball has.
Yeah, pundits, Guild Ball. I don't even know what this sports thing means. When they say pitch, I'm just okay, maybe that's a fun word for a table in England.
It's the field.
Yeah.
They call it a pitch instead of a field.
I did learn that.
Hey, you know what the regulation size for a soccer field is?
Not 3x3.
Too fucking large.
I have no idea.
There isn't one. True story.
Oh, really?
You can make your pitch whatever the fuck size you want.
So Games
I would-
Workshop does things for soccer too.
I would seriously make that thing as narrow as hell.
Yeah.
And then put up solid spike walls
Yeah.
on each side of them so people can get checked to them. Right where so there would be no out of bounds. You kick the ball, it doesn't go out of bounds, it just bounces into one of the spikes, and then you have to
And then
replace
you have
the
to
ball.
get a new one. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a very expensive sport, Andy.
I'm fine with that.
Play with medicine balls,
no,
and then
even
it won't
better.
get impaled.
Yeah, or we'll just play with a steel ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
you watch the soccer players try to kick that thing down the field.
Well, they can have steel-toe boots.
Okay, that's fine. That's even better. Oh, this is an amazing game.
Yeah, we're inventing future sport. What was the one movie that they did the remake with Rebecca Romaine O'Connell?
You broke my head.
There was the 70s sports movie, and then they did the remake with Rebecca
It's
Romaine.
rollerball.
Was that Rollerball?
It's the original was with James Caan,
Yeah, and then the sequel, the remake had Rebecca Romaine O'Connell.
and she wasn't O'Connell at that time.
Stamos?
It was Stamos.
Was she, or was she just Rebecca Romaine?
It might be Rebecca Romaine. I don't know.
Is that the Woe guy? Whoa.
Whoa! No, that's Joy Lawrence. Why the fuck do I know that?
Andy lost street cred. Throw away all your metal CDs now, you little pussy.
He's gonna go to that that big metal show in Iceland he's always talking about, and they're gonna be like, you know who Joey Lawrence is, and just bludgeon him to death. Iced Earth is gonna call you up onto stage just to bludgeon you. They're gonna rip the sleeve off of your shirt,
Or just rip the skin. I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
But they're just gonna rip that skin off anyway,
Yeah.
just so you can't get a tattoo.
Yeah, it's like when they rip the medals off of somebody before
Yeah.
they strip them of command.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iced Earth is gonna do that to you.
Or like I'm part of a biker gang and I get inked all over my tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't have any tattoos, so they'll just ink my whole arm.
Yeah, they'll just give you a
and then-
black sleeve to prevent you from ever having an Iced Earth tattoo.
Yes.
They're like, this is to make sure.
Time to hand in your denim jacket, Andy.
I don't have a denim jacket.
I
They're
thought,
gonna give you one.
I thought in your Meatloaf picture you were wearing a denim jacket.
No, that was just a shirt.
For some reason, I saw the face and I'm like, there's a denim jacket there. I don't even have to. It's like filling in the blanks almost.
Yeah, there's no way this face does not have a denim jacket underneath it.
You're scrolling up and you're like, yep, that's all I need to see.
I'm done.
Or like Nathan's, where you don't think there's a massive machete underneath him.
Do you
There
know
was.
do you know what shirt I was wearing, though, right?
It was not. Meatloaf.
It was not Meatloaf. It was a Quiet Riot T-shirt.
Oh, well, that's punk though. That's different, right?
Quiet Riot is
Oh
not.
no,
is
never
not
mind. Now
punk.
yeah, what am I? I don't know.
Girls, rock your boys.
I just want to listen
favorite
to my
Quiet Riot
to
song.
my Aqua and Kylie.
Which isn't a Quiet Riot song.
I know.
He just wanted to like sing on a microphone.
No. It truly isn't a Quiet Riot song. It's from Slade.
It doesn't matter. You handed in your metal card.
Two of Quiet Riot's biggest hits that they have, "Mama We're All Crazy Now" and "Come On Feel the Noise," are not Quiet Riot. That's a band called Slade.
Okay.
They're remakes.
Who was on
Is
Friends?
Slade the one that does Runaway?
I believe.
Runaway?
Believe so.
See chameleon lying there in the sun. All thanks to everyone. Run away. I think that's
so.
Slade.
I think that's Slade.
I like that song.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Metal Health.
Couldn't
is,
tell.
that
Ethan, what's
is-
your favorite Slade song?
I can't pick.
Oh, that's a shame.
I like that Barbie Girl song.
Yeah, that's Slade.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, don't piss on other people's games on a podcast. Or
Well,
else-
Or
Just
even,
in
or even in
general.
person.
Don't even piss on other people's games. I mean,
I'll piss
people,
on people's games. It's fine.
you could do it with friends that you know, but I don't know. It's just
You can piss on games, but don't piss on games as a tool to try to convince people that your game is
Yeah.
better and that they should play it instead.
Or don't piss on people because of their game.
That is the also a big
Yeah.
correct. The other thing though too, is
Unless
if,
that game is Age of Sigmar.
Nah.
if you watch Ren and Stimpy, don't piss on the electric fence
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Don't piss on that game because that game it's literally electric fence.
It is.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my God, is that a thing?
Yeah. Have you not seen that?
I have not seen that.
Kylo Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my God, that's
I'll-
amazing.
I'll find
It's
the
like one of
picture.
those things where you see like it says JAR token and he's got his mouth open and then it's JRR listen.
Oh,
listening.
sure.
So this one says Kylo Ren and Kylo Stimpy. It's pretty good. But
It's like Christopher Walken and Christopher Running or
Yep.
whatever. Yeah.
Christopher Walken, Christopher Standen. But no, I'm guilty often of pissing on other games because I just don't like them, and I think it's fine that I do that. But I won't piss on somebody because of the game they play. That's just not something that I gel with.
Well, there's one I saw of Stimpy as a stormtrooper.
That might have been
Oh, there it
around
is.
for a while though.
Yeah, Kylo Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, it's the internet. It exists. So I think, I'm trying to think of all the games that I've pissed on over the years, and it's a lot of them. But a lot of it's because of like the internal mechanics of the game or something that I don't like about it, like with Games Workshop having like $1 million models now in order to play the game the way you want to. Like everybody likes big storm surges, but they're like $100 or something.
But again, you don't buy the models to play the game. You buy the
Well-
models for the models.
Thanks a lot, GW Rep Ethan.
Just saying. We literally just said that earlier. Like, you don't buy Games Workshop models for the game.
No, a lot of people do though. There's a ton of neckbeards out there that do that.
It's just
Next-
a
now we're gonna
electrical wine podcast where we all just do our best impression of a transistor box.
Yeah,
Or-
basically. Or I'm
What's
just
her,
trying
what's her
to
name
see.
from Bob's Burgers?
Louise?
Not Louise. The
Yeah,
oldest. I can't think of her name right now.
Tina.
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 Yes.
Yep. Now we're trying to harmonize.
We could. Let's try.
Tina's
All right,
so awesome.
1,
Bob's
2,
Burgers is so good.
3.
Quality podcasting, people.
That's going to be my new ringtone.
Somehow people listen to us.
Not anymore.
Done. Yeah.
We're not even trying to be decent this week.
No, we're not. We're just the utter shit right now.
2
but-
weeks ago, we were all War Machine. Last week, we were all whatever. And then this week's just shit.
Exactly. This is Crippled System at its finest. But like when I was at Waaaghpaca, this may tie into a little bit of what we were talking about with pissing on other games. Is I've never been a big fan of fantasy. Like some of the models look all right, but for the most part, I'm just not a big fan of the way the game plays or anything like that, or Games Workshop in general. But it was still interesting to be around the people who were playing that and see the passion that they have for it, or like the modeling aspect that they really enjoyed. There are a lot of really cool looking armies, and I think no matter what, in every game you can find something that's good about it. And that's why Guild Ball's amazing and the rest of them suck, because it takes everything that's good about the game.
Come on, man. Now you're not even trying.
No, I was just being condescending. But are
yeah.
you turning my microphone off now?
I don't know if I can
don't
unplug
even,
from that end.
Don't even have to. Done.
Andy doesn't do that.
Done.
That's mean. I'm going to talk super loud anyways so other people
Actually,
can hear me.
I don't think I pressed that button. Or did I? Oh, I did.
God damn it. Okay. So, no. It was just, that's the kind of thing that you get out of it is you hear people giving those kind of statements. Like, one of the big ones was like, War Machine is, or Guild Ball is good, War Machine is bad because Guild Ball's good, or, no, I'm thinking I'm mixing it up, but, like, the stagnant, there we go, the stagnancy of War Machine is causing Guild Ball to be better somehow, or because Guild Ball is the game that they like at the moment, War Machine is stagnant. I don't buy into that that line of thinking. I think
Well,
that
this time of year is stagnant for War Machine every year. This is the off season.
well, and Guild Ball just decided to drop right around this time in America, at least getting bigger or gaining momentum. And I'd like to see the game take off and do well, but at the expense of War Machine players, I think that's incorrect, because they're going to get to a point where they have the same problem with Guild Ball too, and then there'll be a couple of releases or a packet that comes out for War Machine, and then they'll go back to that and say Guild Ball's shit. So I just don't think that demonizing another game is a good way to get people into your game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I've always tried to take the
high road.
the high road. You know, it's people play it. I have good friends of mine that really like some of the aspects of War Machine, but they like 40K better, and just mainly because of just they play with each other. In a sense, they don't play with a big crowd. So
that is an accurate representation of what you do in 40K. You sit around and jerk each other off.
No, not that. No, but
and that's why War Machine's good.
Fucking A. Oh. Who wants to be on the podcast next week?
Not me. Well, no, but that's a different thing, because anything you do with your friends, if you're doing it just to be with your friends, it's fine as a thing to do with your friends. That doesn't mean it's not a terrible thing.
Yeah, kicking around a can is a fine thing to do, too. If it's what you like doing with your friends, it's no big deal.
Some people sit around and play Munchkin with every expansion for 12 hours at a time because it's what their group does, and that's fucking terrible.
Some people show up at the game store with every expansion of Munchkin and they look longingly across the room for anybody coming to play with them.
Yeah.
That's like social leprosy.
He built a little wall on his table out of all the boxes facing the door, so you came in and you just saw the Great Wall of Depression, and you just like took a wide angle around him to get to the other people playing better games in the back of the room.
Yeah, if you get within 3 feet of that, you just get cancer or something.
Oh my god, you just didn't make eye contact. He's like, you want to play Munchkin? No, go fucking die.
Yep. And cheat while you're at it.
Not saying Munchkin's a bad game.
It's a terrible game.
Yeah.
It's a terrible game.
But
I'm
it being
not
a terrible
saying that-
game,
Not
makes
saying
War
he's a
Machine
terrible
better
person
game.
for playing it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hypocrisy!
No, because again, you didn't walk up to a table of people playing Munchkin and say, "Wow, Munchkin's fucking shit," and you're stupid for playing it. If you were a decent person, you'd be over here playing Resistance instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that's what it is. Like, it's fine. Like, nobody's saying don't say something shit. You're allowed to have your opinion, and if it's shit, you can say it's shit. Just don't, say the person's shit for liking it, because it's a difference of opinion, unless it's Age of Sigmar or Nickelback. If they like Age of Sigmar or Nickelback, they are shit. But apart from that, people just have different opinions.
Yeah, I'm getting that way with Cards Against Humanity now.
Oh,
too.
that's shit, too. That
It
game
is
is fucking terrible.
The problem that I've worked myself into is that now, instead of just saying it's crappy when it's not even in the room, I say it while my friends are forcing me to play it to people that I've just met, and I might call them borderline retarded during that game too. And,
You have?
Yeah, I have. It's been rough, but I'm starting to get out of that a little bit. I'm
Don't
growing
get out
as
of
a
it.
person.
That I'm gonna go full hypocrisy. This is a right as a human being, not a right, a duty. A duty is what I meant to say. This is your onus. Is you stop people from playing Cards Against Humanity at all costs.
Yeah,
Set the game on fire. Set them on fire. Do whatever you have to do to make them not play that fucking abomination.
politically incorrect is a really good version of the game.
So
Personally incorrect, sorry.
Yeah.
the other thing, well, it has nothing pertaining to the subject, but it might set Nathan off. I did get Nathan to admit that he likes something with ketchup in it.
It was meatloaf.
No.
No, it wasn't meatloaf because Raylene forced me to buy ketchup the other day because she wanted to make meatloaf, and I'm like,
I
if you're
can
gonna
just
make
imagine
meatloaf,
the look on your face when you slam that fucking bottle down on the counter. Just like, I'll take this.
No, McDonald's cheeseburgers.
yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, well, McDonald's cheeseburgers are a very interesting food item in that you think you're getting a burger, and it tastes like maybe what you think a burger should taste like, but it really isn't a burger.
Yeah.
Nothing tastes like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Like
Correct.
they don't
Yeah.
taste like you can have a cheeseburger from 10 other restaurants and they'll all be different, but they all have that cheeseburgerness. But the McDonald's one is just fucking unique somehow.
Yeah,
like it
it has
tastes
to-
different.
I will say, though,
I like them. They're their own good flavor.
McDonald's cheeseburgers, they have to be fresh. Otherwise, I can't eat them. They're... If I left it in the bag for like more than a half hour, it's junk. I'm going to
dead
throw
to
it
you.
out.
Yeah, it's dead to you.
Yeah.
My brother, while we were growing up, and I think he still does this to this day too, if he gets a McDonald's burger and the bun isn't fluffy, he will take it back and say that he wants a different bun. And they do it. I mean, like, they don't care. It's just like, he's like, this bun is a little stale, but he's like, it's just not. He, like, when we were kids, he used to like put it on his face to see if it was fluffy.
No, see, okay.
Does he not have hands?
Every
He
single
does, but that's like how he would feel. I don't know if it was just the I don't know. It was weird.
every single time I've gone to McDonald's, my cheeseburger has always looked like the cheeseburger that defense gets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just like smushed.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Like it's always just completely smashed. Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm fine with that
It's
too.
that's part of the joy of a McDonald's cheeseburger.
That's the experience.
yes.
They're flat. They always have the one seam like across the middle of the top of it. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I have a tendency of this is
Like
the
the
only
wrinkle.
the only way I eat my McDonald's cheeseburgers is I'll take one of the bottom bun off, and then I'll stack French fries on it, and then that's my vehicle for eating French fries too.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty legit, and I put a big reservoir of ketchup in there too. It's so good. Like, it drips down my face and into my beard. It looks like I just murdered somebody with my teeth.
No.
Did you try the bat catcher trick with your teeth?
The what?
The bat catching trick with your teeth?
No, I haven't tried that.
It's probably the best episode or skit that ever appeared on Mad TV, which was Kenny Rogers' Jackass.
Kenny Rogers Jackass is pretty good.
Yep.
No, I didn't get too big into Mad TV, but I hear that Mad TV then is much better than Saturday Night Live now.
That is true.
That's true.
That's true.
Besides the undercover boss, Kylo Ren.
Eh.
It
It was okay. It could have been 1,000 times better.
Was it only
Correct.
funny because it was Star Wars?
No, it was funny because it was Kylo Ren.
Or
It
maybe
was him in what would be a normal situation.
Yeah.
And it was good. The only reason it was good, I think, was the fact that it wasn't just one of the cast members doing a Kylo Ren impression. They actually had the actor from Star Wars playing it himself, which, helped the sketch.
Well, now that I think about it, it it was funny because I think a good portion of people who saw the movie had already pictured him being that way, like this just bitchy, whiny, I want my toys guy. Like,
Yeah.
so I think that's why it carried over so well. But yeah, I mean, we just don't have comedy legends like we had, 15, 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, you look at the 90s era SNL, and you have Phil Hartman and Mike Myers before he was terrible, and David Spade and Dana Carvey, and just, that era, the Church Lady, Wayne's World, Phil Hartman, Chris Farley, like, that cast was fucking amazing.
It was probably one of the better ones, unless you want to start looking at like
Earlier
the Chevy
than that.
Chase.
I think
Jim
that
Belushi era.
I think that cast was more polished. Like, I think as far as consistent good product, they were better. Because Netflix has the whole series of SNL on it now, or at least it did for a while. Because I remember Raylene was watching from episode 1 on, and man, is it really fucking hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like, there's a huge cultural filter where you only remember one sketch per episode because the other 15 sketches weren't funny.
Well,
But
it's basically
it's
Saturday Night Live in
groundbreaking.
general.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, like, the 90s era was pretty fucking consistent, man.
Pretty
Well,
decent.
Maybe that's just the evolutionary track of SNL, because from the way I understand it, SNL when it first started out was kind of like where the new people were.
Yeah.
And then in that 90s era is where, like, these are probably the more established people in comedy. Either that or that's what it's bastardized into now, because even Chris Farley and all those guys, that was pretty early in their career, and then they got into movie making, but now it seems like it's the other way around. Like, maybe Either that or it's just that guy from All that's there that makes it funny.
Yeah, the one. What's his name? Keenan or Cal?
Yeah,
He's one of the two.
The fat one.
Oh,
the
yeah,
fat
from
one.
Good Burger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good Burger.
Yeah. The only reason why I brought back up Mad TV is a couple weeks ago, Mad TV had a 20th anniversary or 10-year anniversary. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was 20-year anniversary of
That'd be
the show.
depressing.
Yeah, I think so. But that anniversary show was the worst piece of shit I have ever seen in my life. All they did was just basically slowly recap all the good skits. Didn't even show you the good skits.
They just talked about
They
it.
just talked about them the entire time. While they were trying to have like some kind of weird. They were trying to get into basically an award show about them. So it was the group of the Mad TV folks trying to get into an award show, and they were just recapping about all the things that they talked about and had for the last 20 years.
So it's kind of like when somebody describes a comic strip.
Yes.
You know, like, so, and then the first panel, the dog is really tired. And then the second panel, the squirrel says, Nixon, what? And then the third panel, the dog's got like big googly eyes, and he says, Parmesan!
Exactly.
That
Did
sounds-
somebody
that's a
draw
good
that comic for us?
Hey, it's another shirt idea.
Did you see somebody drew the Robert E. Lee
I did.
kawaii senpai thing? Yeah.
Yeah, that was precious. We need more artistically talented people drawing the things we say, like Shattern.
Shattern. I forgot about Shattern.
Yeah, Shattern is a good one.
I don't even remember Shatter.
That was where we were talking about if you were shitting your pants and then you got stuck in orbit, and then the ring that was around the planet that you were shitting out of.
Where the fuck was I? I've been on every podcast. I do not remember this at all.
I think when we start, you just like blank it out like somebody's like tickling your nose with a dick.
I might just.
Wait, what? How is that a metaphor?
It is. It works. I mean, if
When
somebody's
someone's tickling your nose with a
dick,
dick, you black out?
exactly, because you can't remember that.
I'm pretty sure you remember that.
You can't do it. Yeah, it's like a.
I know, your mom remembers. Snap! What? Because I had sex with her.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I did not.
Yep. But do you remember me wagging my dick in your nose?
Yes.
No, you don't.
I have nightmares about it. I think that the
think
memory
you may.
blocking didn't take.
We can try it again.
So,
All right.
so Shattern, you're in outer space.
Yeah, we were
a
talking
poo ring.
about- we
like
were
you
talking
get
about
a poo
Nathan,
ring
like-
from orbit.
Yeah, we were talking about farts boosting you around, like if you were in zero gravity.
Yeah.
And then it turned into like, what if you shit? And then I pictured Nathan like drifting around a planet with like this shit ring around him.
It was Shattern.
And if you have diarrhea, you could keep it going long enough where you could have like little gaseous rings around
yeah,
Saturn.
we talked about using the fart to propel yourself.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
but I
then-
really don't remember
Shattern.
I really
The
don't.
room died when Shattern came up. Like, that word was such magic.
It was. I think Tort can fact check us.
Tort
on that
remembers Shattern. I don't.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, this is why I had Nathan write down topics, because next day when I'm posting this podcast, I will not remember a fucking thing that we
You know what
talked
you
about.
don't remember? Is to take the list to work with you.
Correct. That is-
Dick cheese. That list is like 50 entries long.
That
And
was
then-
a long ass list.
Yeah,
that's
that's
like
a long list. And then the episode summary on the Muse website was just, I've left the list at home.
oh man. Well, there goes that job.
You have to use that list for this episode now.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's not going to make any sense.
So,
I don't like
neither do
anybody
we.
uses it anyways.
I don't think anybody reads those anyway.
I think
Because we used to do timestamps, and
when I see timestamps, I'll look at the timestamps just to see if there's anything that I really like. If the timestamps are stupid and I don't want to listen to it, but I usually listen to it anyways.
I think with our podcast, we're so tangent that it's very difficult to even bring in timestamps into ours. Because we'll be on a subject, then we'll go off to this subject, then we'll be back to that subject we were talking about, then we'll go off to this thing, and then we'll try to bring it back to here, and it'll eventually go over to here. And yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. So prepare next year for Waaaghpaca to be really interesting and awesome with War Machine tournaments.
Exactly. And we're sorry for Reagan on it for the past. Seriously, I am sorry for Reagan on it for the past like 6 weeks. Other than the price of admission, which I understand was something that they couldn't control at this time.
It was a
Yeah.
nice venue too.
Yeah. Oh, we should mention it took place. It was at a
We thought it was at a duplex.
We did. Well, the GPS led us to a duplex originally.
Sure.
That's a
We're
good
like,
start.
oh, that's
Just in this guy's basement.
Yeah.
You got your $50, kids.
I have been to a Blood Bowl tournament that took place at somebody's house. Actually, I held a Blood Bowl tournament at my house once too. I've got enough boards to do it, but no. And then it was actually an ale house that was right outside, so it had it was kind of like the hotel's kitchen
convention
bar,
center, yeah.
like a little banquet hall. Which they had an open bar, not an open bar. God, that would have been amazing if it was an actual open bar.
Yeah.
They had an available bar.
They had an available bar, yes.
The prices were all right for the most part. Like, all right, I guess.
I knew I was driving, so I didn't want to drink anything.
Yeah. There was also enough room between the tables, and there were a lot of large people there, too, where, like, I never went butt to butt with anybody. A little depressing, but...
I'm sick of talking about Waaaghpaca.
Let's talk about War Machine.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't have a suggestion. I was just sick of talking about Waaaghpaca. I saw Kung Fu Panda 3 yesterday.
Why did you go see that?
Because I went and visited my dad's widow, and she was like, we should watch Kung Fu Panda 3 because Jack Black reminds me of you. I'm like, all right, I guess. And so we went and saw Kung Fu Panda 3.
Was it any good?
It was, I think, my least favorite of the Kung Fu Panda films. But it was okay.
Much like Shrek the Third?
This is the one where he teaches the pandas, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It was the most blatantly kids movie, because the first couple actually are surprisingly decent. They're like...
They're kind of deep.
They're surprisingly good. And this one was very, like, pie in the face, poo humor kid movie, and I felt that most. But it had J.K. Simmons, Academy Award winning J.K. Simmons, and fucking Bryan Cranston as characters. Like, man, they're pulling the heavy hitters for the voice actors in this one. It was good. It was fun.
With Disney, it's usually all out on the third.
It's not Disney, though.
Or Pixar. I figured.
It's not Pixar.
DreamWorks.
It's DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
They're all
And
interchangeable
DreamWorks'
to
first
me.
film
No.
it's the first film they released with Fox because they had an exclusive deal with Paramount previously. It's also the longest wait in between sequels in the DreamWorks thing. After I see movies, I look at the IMDb trivia page. So,
Gotcha.
you know what's really fucked up? Get this, because this is weird. Is Jackie Chan does the voice of Monkey in the Kung Fu Panda films, right? As you may well know, and I need to double check because for this movie they mentioned that Jackie Chan does the voice of Monkey, but in the Mandarin release he does a voice as well, but he voices a different character. He voices one of the pandas. So number one, why? Why would you have him voice a different character? And number two, this means that in the previous two films they must not have had him voice Monkey.
Yeah.
And why not? Like, why wouldn't you have the only character that's fluent in both languages play himself in both versions?
Yeah, that's weird.
Was weird as hell.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I know that he's like the David Hasselhoff of Germany over there. So maybe was the panda character a prominent character?
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they might have switched it.
But they wouldn't have known. I don't know if it was a switch and like he played Monkey in the other two in Mandarin, then it's just weird that the voice would change for all the kids watching the movies at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd be used to his voice for Monkey, and then all of a sudden the Monkey voice is this other character now, which would just be weird. So the only other option is if it didn't switch, and this is the first time he's voicing somebody, in which case, why?
Yeah, I don't quite understand the logic on that one.
Weirdness.
Yeah, I just know Jackie Chan's like superstar stuff. So, do we have any questions, or are we going to talk about rappers who like to argue with scientists?
That guy's great. The people who think the Earth's flat, like, do they honestly think you can just like look over the edge?
Yeah.
Like, where do they think that edge
Well,
is?
the thing
that's
I've
how
watched.
You got to do that so you can sex the turtle, right?
Yeah.
So you can find out what sex the turtle is. I didn't say sex. I meant sex the
So
turtle,
you
but I
can
meant it actually as
Andy wants to
The
fuck
actual
turtle.
correct use. No,
Correct.
sex as a
Yeah, I
verb.
know. Yeah.
correct.
You read those books, you just know that reference from other people.
No, not from other people. I have watched the BBC Color and Magic,
Oh, sure.
which that is I hear is actually a very good representation. Of,
It is. Did you like it?
Yeah.
That is my least favorite of the live action Discworld movies.
Okay.
So if you liked it, the other Going Postal, super good. Hogfather, all that. But Going Postal, if you like the Color Magic one, I think that's universally agreed to be the weakest of the live action.
Really?
So if you liked it, the others are.
That was my intro of that.
Yeah.
So I'll have to either check out or read the other ones.
Going Postal has Charles Dance.
I like Charles Dance.
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched any
Hello?
of the live action ones.
I just killed somebody. Oh, my favorite scene ever in a movie. That movie could have been fucking amazing. And if you don't know what movie I'm talking about Last Action Hero.
That movie, yeah.
If that movie was a
It's
Jack
still
Slater film,
okay, but it could have been amazing.
yeah. If it was just a flat Jack Slater film, it took out everything about the kid in the theater and the jumping, where they just made a movie about Arnold Schwarzenegger and this over the top cartoony action flick, would have been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you still need the Watson. I think you need the straight man.
It would have been hard.
I think
to
it was
sell otherwise.
handled kind of sloppily. And it's weird that, this
I
kid...
guess-
what's with the creepy guy in the theater, and, it's all weirdly done.
Okay.
But it could have been handled better, but I think you still need someone from the real world to be the fish out of water, so that then when you switch it and have him be the fish out of water in our world, it's a juxtaposition. I
agree with that. And then even then, the quote I'm giving is from when he's in the real world.
Yeah. It's just if you don't have the fish out of the water in his world first, then it's just all of a sudden he's in our world and it's just weird.
The interaction is weird. I just hated the kid element in that movie. It's just so fucking horrible.
It was badly done.
It was. No, I've watched a couple of the conspiracy theorist videos of these people who try to break it down scientifically how the world is flat, and it really just sounds like they got done sucking on the tailpipe of a Chevy and decided to talk about 1600 science.
Well, you know what someone else pointed out to me about that whole thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson and then that rapper or whatever his name is, YOLO or Bob. His name's fucking Bob. Christ. But they said, well, here's the thing is he sure got a lot of publicity.
Yeah,
That's exactly what
He's
Andy
nobody.
said.
He probably isn't a flat earther. He's like, hey, if I get in a Twitter fight with Neil deGrasse Tyson, people will know who I am.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said on our way up to Waaaghpaca. It's how many people have heard about him beforehand?
Nobody.
Nobody. You know who heard about him now? Everyone. So we should get into a fight with Neil deGrasse Tyson. What topic should we come up with to start a Twitter war with him?
How gravity isn't a proven theory. Or no, how gravity isn't a fact, because right now it's still just a theory.
So just a basic misunderstanding of what the word theory means.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty sure he did a Gravity special already.
God damn it. Let's just get Snoop Dogg to talk to him about the planet Earth.
What?
We have
why would
right?
Snoop Dogg
There's
have
a
to-
petition out
Planet.
there. There's
Yeah.
a petition
Planet
out there.
Earth.
Yeah.
Just take the the BBC series Planet Earth
Yeah.
and just replace the
Oh.
David Attenborough or whoever it is with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I think there's a petition out there now for it.
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
I signed it.
Might as well.
I saw it was a thing 2 weeks ago on everybody's Facebook wall,
Well,
and
yeah.
I just refused to click on it.
It was just a social function thing, where people were just like, wouldn't it be cool if this, and then it spread like herpes, just like Minions. I'm fine that those are mostly gone for the most part.
Oh, I'm gonna post so many on your wall now when I get home.
That's all right. I gave the
I was thinking Minions as in War Machine, or it's
Oh.
Minions.
No,
I'm
wait.
how are they really? Would somebody putting Rorsch and Brian on your wall?
That could be the new thing, just middle-aged women putting a picture of Rorsch and Brian on their wall with an inspirational phrase. I hate Mondays. It's just a gator disemboweling a trollkin.
nice. That's an interesting thing now that you talk about it. Maybe someone from Privateer Press will listen to this and make it a thing. But there's all the adult coloring books that are coming out, not adult you paint boobies or do.
I'm sure
color
those
them in.
exist too.
They probably do, but there's the coloring books that
Connect
are
the
more
dots.
supposed to be meditative or whatever. But why the Privateer Press could maybe go down that road too and make the chibi coloring book.
I had a Law and Order
Candles.
coloring book.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting.
Was a lot of connect the dots.
No, it's a coloring book. It wasn't a Connect the Dots book.
I want activity books.
No, it's
that's
just
what I want.
Activity
I want
books are pretty
yeah.
basically draw the chalk outline, and it's just the dots in a circle. So you have to connect the dots to make the chalk outline. Yeah.
Shame about that dog.
It's like Highlights magazine for adults.
Wait, Highlights Magazine isn't for adults?
It is if you're in the doctor's office.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the activities so the 6-year-olds can go fuck themselves.
I hate it when I get there and I see the book and it's already got the fucking differences circled. I'm like, God damn it, that's not the point. Fuck.
Just do 6 differences with 2 different pictures in the book. Just fine.
I think that would be cheating. Maybe if you find like 34 differences, it might be a game then.
Depends on the pictures.
Yeah, I guess so. And if you're looking at a National Geographic instead of a Highlights magazine.
Like, are you comparing a National Geographic to a Highlights magazine?
Yeah.
Like, you just take a picture out of each?
Yeah, and then just circle both of them because I have never seen a Highlights magazine that has a picture of naked Zimbabwe women.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I see this term come up. I looked it up once before. I'm too lazy to look it up now. What does ARG mean? For like a game. For
ARG?
yeah, augmented reality game. I think that's.
Oh,
what it is.
yeah.
That's what it is. I just had somebody ask me what I thought about this. There's going to be a Sentinels ARG, I guess, for multiverse.
Oh yeah, Villains of the Multiverse, right? Is that?
No, it's going to be like some other thing. It's an augmented reality game.
Yeah, that was the only thing I could think of. I was actually wondering if anybody picked it up yet.
I own it.
It looks kind of cool.
I own it. You're supposed to cut apart my.
Yeah, his mat is in my car. I need to cut it apart at work tomorrow.
Ooh.
And by tomorrow, I mean day after, because I have tomorrow off.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one new expansion coming out for Sentinels too, which is the Oblivion, which is their last expansion. It's the end of the multiverse.
What? What?
That game felt like it was going to go on forever.
Like each time you play it, it feels like that?
No, just like the expansions. I felt like I'm really hoping Smash Up doesn't give up anytime soon, but I guess with the stinker that is the Munchkin Smash Up, they probably will die out soon, and I'll never fill up the bigger geeker box or whatever, geekier box. When I got that thing, it was like it has I think it's 3 rows that you can fill up all the Smash Up cards with, and I was just like, oh man, this is so great for the future, but I think it was just a ruse.
Just to get your hopes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Smash Up's a fun game.
I really do like it. It's just like when they put out the Munchkin one, I was really like, I had some cognitive dissonance going on where like I really wanted it because it was a Smash Up expansion, but I didn't want to go anywhere near it because it had something to do with Munchkin.
Munchkin's so fucking terrible.
It is, and it's now I feel like I have to research the Munchkin stuff a little bit more so I get the inside jokes of the cards.
Don't do that.
I know it's.
Don't.
I might go down that rabbit hole.
We should do Zappity Grumble now because he's circling the rabbit hole right now. He's teasing it with his tongue.
He is. And it's gonna black out.
And I won't remember it.
Good.
So, what's our? Are you on the Facebook?
I'm on here. Well, anyway, somebody's asking.
Oh shit!
I'm not here well anyway.
Whatever.
That's
This
our
thing
new
I'm
rule.
looking at, I'm there.
Can't deny that.
Any of you? Hey, there you are.
Remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Pig Killer said that.
Yep.
Quoting Buddha.
Any of you excited for the new Venture Brothers tonight?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Why not?
I loved the first 2 seasons of Venture Brothers, but when it takes you a decade to release 2.5 more random seasons, I stopped caring about Venture Brothers. I never disliked any. I've always enjoyed every episode of Venture Brothers I've ever seen, and I love the first 2 seasons, and I own the first 2 seasons. I just don't care anymore.
You've moved on.
I've just moved on. It was too inconsistent of release schedule, just too long. I just don't give a shit anymore.
I'm at least intrigued with it to at least see it and see how it goes.
The show never really stuck to my ribs in the first place, so it's neat that they're bringing it back, but it sounds like it's not so much a comeback as somebody just taking forever to do something.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, technically, they still claim that it's a consistent show, but it's like 1 season every 2.5 to 3.5 years. It's
They
like, that's
are
not.
they are inconsistent in that regard. They are extremely inconsistent. All right, Zappany.
Grumble.
Have you played any dexterity board games like Flick 'em Up? Thoughts on the subgenre?
No. I feel like Space Commander's a little bit of a dexterity game, and that one I really
What is
like.
Space Commander.
Space Cadet, maybe? the one where you like every person has a part of the system, and like one of that is like you get a certain puzzle and you have to solve it in your turn, or else that system like gets fucked up.
Yeah, but that's still not. This is more like there's games that are actually like a board game that involves playing tiddlywinks, where you need to like aim chits and stuff. Like we played the Mars Attacks 5-minute takedown one.
That's where I'm
You
saying
and
like,
I.
it's a little bit like that.
And I've played a lot of balanced ones like Bombolio and stuff like that. But
Played a game, car racing game where you had to flick cars around the track. I think that's Formula One or Formula Day.
yeah, Formula Day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not day as in D-A-Y, D-E.
Yep.
But I played that and that was fun. I mean, those are decent. I feel like those games are really more a filler game in between other games.
The flip side, though, is like for some reason Board Game Geek has a big hard-on for Lupin Louie, and now there's the Star Wars tie-in Lupin Chewie with Chewbacca. But it's Lupin Louie is like a game where there's like a motor that's got an arm going around. And on the end of the arm is a biplane pilot, and it swoops down and tries to like knock your pieces off, and so you have to hit a lever to knock him back up so he doesn't like knock your pieces off.
Okay.
And Board Game Geek, like they're in love with that thing. Like I think it started as a joke, but now they literally have Looping Louie tournaments at their convention.
Yikes.
I just was looking for it because I couldn't remember it for the life of me. But when I was in school in lacrosse, one of my professors actually designed a board game, and it's called Flip 5. And that was really fun to play while we were there. It was kind of like a small, like zoomed-in version of shuffleboard, but there were like little, like there was a divider in the middle, and you had to not only get your piece through those things, but you also had to try and get it through a goal, and then there were like little pegs that you could bounce it off of. That was really fun. I know it's out there and available for purchase, but if you can find it, I'd definitely at least give it a try and look at it. But it is a really neat dexterity game.
I remember playing a game that had like a dice that would go down like tiers or so, and you would kind of flick a die off, and then where the die would land on the tier and what face it was up, that would be the points of what it was. I can't remember the name of it either.
Fuck.
But
I should know that one. And, well, and I just remembered Crokinole, which is a really big one. That's almost like the table hockey style one.
the game that just came out, Rampage.
Oh, sure.
The dinosaur.
Excuse you. You mean Trouble in Meeple City?
No, it's Rampage.
If you can find a copy that's still called Rampage.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it might be Rampage outside the U.S. There might be.
I think the cease and desist. I don't know, but I know it was Rampage originally, and then they had to change all the copies' names.
And I did avoid that game like the plague when I first saw it, because it just, to me, it just like, oh, it looks stupid. And then I actually played it, and when I played it, it was oddly fun. It had a lot more strategy involved to it.
Zappity?
Zappity. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah. The dexterity
Dexterity
question.
I'm just trying to remember the name of the dice falling down the fucking tiers because, it's going to kill me.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
I only played that once. Zappity Grumble. If the IK had a Pro Bowl, who would the Warlocks caster face off, and what would their armies be made of?
A Pro Bowl? Like football?
That's too much.
So is it asking who the best in each category is?
Best for each caster, yeah. Or best for each faction. Or maybe if we're thinking of like Hordes or War Machine, like who would be the ones to represent the Hordes side of it, and who would be the ones that would represent the War Machine side of it?
I'm not going to answer that because it's too complicated and dumb, but it makes me think of a different question that would be an interesting thought experiment. So let's say like in a vacuum, you had let's take Crix as an example, and you had to vote who the best caster in Crix is. And then you vote who the best unit in Crix is. And you go down the list and you built an army just from the best in each category. I wonder if that army would work.
I think you'd
you know
find
what I mean?
that
Like the best caster might not work best with the quote unquote best unit, and so on.
I think
the synergy.
What you're going to find in that one is you're going to see there are a lot that do fall because of that reason, and then you're going to see your butchers, like the super solo casters, kind of lead the front, because Butcher, you can put basically anything with Butcher 3 and it'll work. I mean, like, you could put Kazi Cossite Woodsman in there just because they could jam for a turn. Like, I think that's what you'd end up coming together with. If you came up with something that was different than that was taking the top spots, I think that'd be really interesting. Maybe that could be a future league thing.
Right, yeah, or even just a discussion for,
Yeah, a
for
discussion,
a different
yeah.
podcast.
That'd be fun.
I don't understand the question anyway.
Yeah.
Because when you look at, there's only 15 casters in each army ish.
I don't
It
know, probably.
It depends. All hordes casters are 14.
Okay, so you wouldn't be a football team is pretty close to that
It's an
number.
11.
Well, I don't know
So
what
you
he's
take the
looking
three shitty
for.
casters and take them out, right?
I don't know what he's looking for.
Or if he's
Are we
saying-
making a list of the best of things, and are we going cross factions? Like the best Crix caster is going to have the best Signar
Pro
unit.
Bowl is going to be Pro Bowl is like from all teams.
See, I was
Right, that's
thinking
my
about
point.
putting
So
them
you're
in
not making a
positions.
faction. Is it like the best of War Machine against the best of Hordes?
I
Yeah.
think that's what he's going for.
Yeah.
Like the best, quote unquote, hordes caster with the best hordes unit out of all the hordes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like if the best, let's go to War Machine again. If the best caster in War Machine is, let's say Gatsby 2 for the heck of it, and the best unit is gun mages, Gatsby 2 does nothing for gun mages. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you
I
get
get what
this
you're saying.
weird
He
thing.
puts a cloud in front of them so they don't die from shooting.
He can put the cloud behind the things, and then they can thunderbolt it into the clouds.
Okay, God, he's so good. He even works with gun mages.
Zappity.
Grumble.
If you could redesign your faction's battle engine, what would it be? That's some of these are not lightning
They're
rounds.
longer things.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
Unless you want to talk about redesigning.
Well,
the
mine's easy
Thresher.
because my two factions have the best battle engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would really like it.
Minions
if
and
there were
Convergence are like, we're good, thanks.
I'd really like it if there were some different things done with the battle wagon. It does a lot, but I just think it's clunky. The troll battle wagon, the Wraith engine is just garbage for me, and I just don't think it's that
You should
great.
talk to Jeff. Jeff gets some really good use out of that battle wagon.
Yeah, I just
It
like
is-
never really unlocked it on the table. I think.
Sure.
Dozer and Smigs makes it shoot accurately. It's true. You got your circle thing going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
the
the
Celestial.
fulcrum like?
Fuck. Have you ever used it?
I've used it, like, I own 2 of them. I've used it, like, a couple times. It's not like,
Did you win those games?
not really.
Probably.
Probably
Probably.
with a double teleport.
Yeah,
that
back
still
with double
happened.
teleport, yeah, I would have won.
So yeah, Celestial Fulcrum, Stone, Stalker. That's how you win.
Because my experience with the Fulcrum, talking to people who are good at the game,
Yeah.
is they say that they want to hate it and they were fielding it just to prove that it was bad, but it kept winning games for them, and it was frustrating.
Well, either, like, it does really good for you, or it just does nothing. Like,
There's
that's,
no in between.
There is no in between. Either you hate that battle engine, or, like, I see a lot of Kruger 2 lists that run it because they protect it.
Yeah.
Like, if the theory is if it stays alive long enough to gain the fury and boost the attack and damage rolls, like, it does work. But does it do the work that, say, for the same points, a unit of blood trackers with Weapon Master Javelins does?
Yes. No. Maybe.
I'll tell you
Maybe.
what. You know what never performs when I'm at that table? Blood trackers.
Yeah.
Every single time I've had them used against me, or I've played with them. Shite.
So I run them with Morv 2 now. Fixes everything.
I would never mind. I was going to get into why I think equating points to points in other things is a trap of War Machine. Like with the thing where you're like, is this Celestial Fulcrum worth a Stalker? Of course it's not. I mean, like that's a bad.
That's a
bad
stalker
lane to go
problem,
to.
not a celestial Fulcrum
Exactly.
problem.
That's a stalker problem.
Are we done?
Yeah, baby.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's way too much War Machine talk for me.
I
Guild
know.
Ball.
Andy's done.
Yep. Who is the White Knife of War Machine?
Who's the White Knight of War Machine?
White Knife of War Machine.
The knife.
There are only 2 of us that know who that is.
Fuck.
Is that a person?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that's. I don't know who would I want to insult
I don't
by
know
equating
either.
them with it. I'll just say it's Keith. Fuck him.
He's the Adam Sandler.
Keith is the Adam Sandler pretending to be a ninja Native American of War Machine.
Ah, this is a ridiculous 6th then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
It was really bad. Zappity. I just let you bury somebody on the bus. I didn't do anything. Crumble.
You didn't disagree.
No, I didn't. Has Nathan considered getting a beard weave to thicken his beard?
You have to have enough to weave. Oh no, like the hair weave extension.
Yeah,
I could do
yeah.
that.
You could get a track put in your
Get-
beard.
Get what?
A track.
What's a track?
Well, the track is like it's almost like a plasticky acrylic thing that they glue basically to your skin, I think. I'm pretty sure this is how this works. And then the track is like, it's a line of hairs that are woven onto a nylon strip that you can slide into your track. So, like...
Why wouldn't I just get it a weave?
I think a track is a less expensive version of a weave. Or maybe it's the other way around.
So,
Like you're surgically implanting a rack into my throat so I can hang chunks
It's not
of hair from it?
surgical, it's glued.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
That's
better.
why when people get in fights, they're always like, bitch pulled out my track.
I've never heard bitch pulled out my track.
You just need to hang around in more
Only
urban
heard of
areas.
weaves.
so
And
Next
Or
time
maybe
you
a weave
see-
is a track. I don't know.
No, a weave is woven. They take a hair extension and they weave your real hair into the
Okay.
extension.
Yeah, a track is different.
yeah. So next time you see Nathan, pull on his beard to see if he has a track or a weave.
If it looks shitty, don't pull on it because I do not have a track or a weave. That's my natural face,
Yeah.
and I apologize for it.
As you should.
Zappity.
Grumble.
All right.
I don't feel bad for throwing Keith under the bus because his wife came and watched that shitty movie with us and he didn't.
Yeah, what a jerk.
And then did you hear what happened to her and Marshall?
Oh yeah, they had to watch Mulholland Drive.
They didn't have to because I
did.
warned them that Mulholland Drive is a pile of shit and David Lynch is an incompetent piece of garbage. And people who like his movies are just fucking liars. Like,
Did Keith make him settle up to it?
no. They decided they were going to troll me because they were going to pretend to like it.
And they couldn't.
But they wanted to do their research, so they decided they needed to watch the movie so that they could talk intelligently about it in case I quiz them. And it's fucking garbage, because of course it is. And so they suffered through that pile of horse feces. But Keith dodged that one, too.
The funny thing is Jake likes the movie. But he hasn't seen it recently, so he's not sure if he likes it just to be ironic liking it, or if he actually does like it.
No, I think oh, David Lynch is so bad.
Yep.
Like, the only people who like David Lynch are idiots, David Lynch, and people trying to suck up to their film professors in college.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, Zappity.
Rumble.
All right, which is better, Trading Places or Brewster's Millions?
Isn't Trading Places the one with Dan Aykroyd and...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
But I'll say Brewster's Millions is an underappreciated masterpiece.
Is that with
Fucking
Richard
love
Pryor?
Brewster. Yeah, that's the Richard Pryor one. It's actually a remake of, I don't remember who's in the original. It might be like Cary Grant or somebody because it's from the 50s.
Sure.
But Brewster's Millions, have either of you even seen Brewster's
I
Millions?
haven't seen Brewster's Millions.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Brewster's Millions is going to lose this argument with most people just because most people have everyone has seen Trading Places, but most people haven't seen Brewster's Millions, and you need to see because it's Richard Pryor and John Candy, and it's fucking magical.
If it's got John Candy in it, I need to see it.
Yeah, because the whole premise is that Richard Pryor inherits like $10 million from an uncle he never knew he had. In the whole, uncle dies, whatever. But he leaves a stipulation in his will that he can keep the 10, or if at the end of a month he is flat, destitute, broke, not a penny to his name, including no property, just nothing, like a hobo, naked, broke, he gets like $250 million.
Okay.
So the whole thing is that he has to waste all this money as fast as he can, but he's not allowed to tell anybody. And the whole movie's just wacky hijinks, and it's great.
I'll check it out. It might be on my list for the very near future.
That said, Trading Places is probably still funnier, but Brewster's Millions, I'm tempted to say it just to encourage people to watch it.
I'll
But
give
it's
it
a
shot.
close race.
There's one more.
Yeah, it appears there's one more question here. Feel lazy, so what are your thoughts on fans' ideas taking priority over what is canon, i.e., Black Hermione Granger?
Like fan
You're
fic?
acting confused.
Fan fiction. I
But that's
care
not
less
even
about.
necessarily fan fiction.
That's just
Because-
in a play, isn't it? Like they got a black Hermione.
Well, except that is official now.
it's not.
Yes,
What?
it is.
How is that official?
Because, so the play cast a black actress to be Hermione Granger,
Sure.
and then J.K. Rowling's like, I don't get what anybody's upset about. I never said she was white. Go read all my descriptions. I talk about her being dark complexion, having curly hair, and stuff like
There
that.
is one. Like I've seen it where it talks about like her pale face. Now
Now you're just,
find it.
are you speaking Pidgin English, you racist? No. You calling her a pale face?
Maybe.
Cherokee people.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I mean, I think that's the same thing. Like, people reacted crazy when there was a black stormtrooper for one reason or another. And then what's the other one? There's some other movie that's coming out with another African dude. Everybody.
Well, they
was pissed
flipped out
off
over the
about.
Fantastic Four. When
Yeah,
in reality,
that
they should be worried about the fact that the movie was terrible.
Yeah.
You put your phone away. I thought you were trying to prove
I gave
yourself
up.
right. Yeah,
I
you
gave
gave up
up.
because you're wrong.
Whatever.
Because it's the flip side. The real thing that you should be looking up is what's her face? You know, the one that dates Ron. Who's the one that dates Ron?
The Chinese lady.
No, that's Cho Chang who
Okay.
dates
Fuck,
Harry.
it was one of the
I
twins.
am out of my element
Yeah,
here.
no, but it's
Not
like,
the Weasley twins, like one of the twin sisters.
But the point is, fuck, somebody in chat remind me what her name is. It's like Violet or something else like that. But she, in the books, she's black.
Yeah.
And in the first, 4 movies, she's black. And in the 5th movie, when she's an important character and dates Ron and has lines, they recast her with a white chick.
Well, they did that in the 7th one with one of Malfoy's henchmen. Was it Goyle? Or
Crab and Goyle?
Yeah,
What, they
like-
recast him?
Yeah, in the 7th movie, he was black because the actor got arrested.
I didn't notice that. I
Yeah.
just thought that was a random different henchman.
No, that's just the
I thought it was just kids going through puberty.
He's changed
It
color.
happened.
Change color.
it's magic.
he ate
Ain't
one
gonna
of
Not
those
play shit.
Pokemon.
He ate one of those. He ate one of those black Hardee's burgers.
Oh yeah.
That just turns your poop black.
it
Actually
turns
turns it
you all
green.
black.
It turns it green. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
It doesn't matter to me. I just if they break canon by casting someone of a different race or sex, I think it's more interesting that way. I mean, it just straight up shouldn't matter.
I can get people's they just want to they can do whatever they want with it. I see some people get mad 'cause they're they feel like they're casting a black Hermione just to say they have a black Hermione.
But that's part of the
Or
problem.
the
though.
actress just was really good in the,
And that's the thing. They're saying that maybe she wasn't the best person for it,
They're
but they just
applying
want.
affirmative action to move.
Yeah, they're we need to have a black person.
Speaking of horrible racists, my love of a great metal band has been forever tarnished by
lavender brown. I knew it was a
That's-
color.
yeah.
I knew it was a color. It wasn't violet. It was lavender. Go on.
So, any of you guys familiar with Pantera?
Yeah.
No, who's that?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, is that one of the Thundercats?
Panthro?
Where the fuck do I know this? Look at Panthro's awesome. Come on
Panthro
now.
was the
Yeah,
best
Panthro
one.
was pretty awesome.
Snarf, snarf.
Yeah, the fact
I
that
know. I do a good snarf impression, by
You
the way.
do.
I almost thought it was your real voice.
I almost
though.
punched you.
Raylene and I might do snarf roleplay sometimes.
Oh, Christ!
Snarf me harder.
You like it, snarf.
Do you
Take the whole show, snarf.
Do you do one of these things where when you're semi-erect, where you can flex a little bit and your penis goes up? You say, "I have the power," and then just flex it real hard, and
That's-
then you fart, and then
that's
your dick's
He-Man.
harder.
Snarf doesn't have that.
God damn it!
I have heard.
You should have
by
an
the way,
Orko and Snarf get together.
I heard a thing that so if your significant other is male and is a heavy sleeper, you should make sure that they always do that before you have sex with them, because sometimes they're actually sleepwalking and not fully awake and you're raping them. But making your dick bounce like that is a conscious thing that you can't do while you're asleep.
Yeah.
And so it's an easy way to check to make sure he's not sleep fucking.
I wonder how many times I've been raped in my sleep.
I don't remember if that was Savage Love or not, but I read it somewhere where some lady was concerned because one time her boyfriend woke up and complained that she had raped him because he was sleepwalking.
That's strange. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I still
So-
think the penis getting bigger is pretty legit, though. The sword-
Pantera.
so.
Yeah, back to
As
that.
good as the Spider-Man, though.
Oh,
So, the tragic thing that happened with Pantera, they broke up, and then one of the brothers, the Abbott brothers, went and formed their own band, Newfound Power or something like that, and he was shot on stage, killed. And so, as there was a tribute show that happened fairly recently to him, and wonderful Phil Anselmo decided to end the concert with him giving the Nazi salute and then yelling out white power. And then he somebody called him out on it. He said, "No, well, we were having white wine in the backstage, so it was like a whole big thing about white wine." And then everybody else in the world's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, you racist son of a bitch?" So forever now, I mean, Pantera used to be one of my favorite fucking bands of all time, and I cannot associate myself at all, or even think of me listening to his music anymore. Because there's always been rumblings and such. You see him like mouthing white power as they're doing songs and that.
Or they had Confederate flags plastered over everything.
That's more of a southern thing.
No, it's a southern thing, but
Correct.
it's kind of become worked into this whole like white supremacist way of thinking, and I think that's like, maybe I'm going off on a different tangent, but this idea of people like saying I can fly the Confederate flag for whatever reason, blah blah blah.
Sure,
I think it's
can.
fucking stupid.
You can
Sure,
fly.
sure.
They
Yeah,
can
but to
also
sit
call
there-
you a racist.
No, that's the thing, is they're like saying that I'm not racist because of this flag, because of whatever, because they might think it looks like the way it looks in their truck, but like that's just straight up misinformation on their
So
part.
what was your opinion on Lemmy's fashion taste?
I mean, I think that's just like part of the. Maybe that was just part of the metal thing, was just like you have the southern
Wear an
look,
SS uniform?
basically, yeah. I mean, maybe it was shitty for him too, but wasn't he English anyways?
Yeah, he just thought that the Nazi uniforms were really stylish, so he
Well,
just wore them.
That kind of thing's different overseas, though, isn't it? Like that, the whole dress of like.
I think
Would it be-
England doesn't like the Nazis very much either.
Maybe it was good. Maybe it was
Owing
just
to being
edgy.
bombed.
At any rate, I think it's stupid to sit there and say that the Confederate flag's not racist.
The truly sad part about it though is, I mean, it was for Dimebag Darrell this
Yeah.
whole concert,
And then it turned into a shit show.
and for Lemmy, and yeah, it was a really good show.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to say it was a joke and all that. Like, really?
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah.
Some people are stupid.
Yeah.
I love white wine, white power.
Now, white wine, white
Yep.
power.
Yep. Fuck Phil Anselmo.
Fueled by white wine.
Yeah, but I don't know. The songs are still good. I don't know, but it can be tough sometimes to differentiate those things. Like I won't watch Roman Polanski films, even though Chinatown and Rosemary's Baby, they're great movies. But he drugs and rapes children, so
Yeah.
I'd rather just not watch his movies.
Yep. And fuck other countries who think that's fine.
Fuck Whoopi Goldberg. She was on The View. They were talking about him because this was when they were going to expedite him because he wandered off into like Switzerland and Switzerland's
yeah,
like,
yep, yep.
gotcha now.
Yep.
And then they ended up letting him go because
Yeah.
why would you bring somebody who again drugs and anally rapes underage girls? But Whoopi Goldberg was like, well, that's the thing. It's like things are different in Europe and blah blah blah. And it's like, you ignorant whore. Like, it's one thing if he had just fucked a 15-year-old, like consensually, like
Correct. Like.
and then you're like, oh well, it's different, in Europe, like 15's the age of consent. That's fine. He didn't. He drugged a girl to unconsciousness and then anally raped her while she was unconscious. That's not some shady, different countries do it differently thing.
Who did it first? Cosby or Polanski?
Polanski.
Are you sure? I think Cosby was supposedly doing it in the early 70s.
I think that's when Polanski did it too.
I thought that was
Plus,
more.
Cosby wasn't doing it to like fucking 12-year-olds.
That's
either.
also true
It's
too. He was
also
doing
a thing.
He was doing it to older adults.
And I don't know, not that it really enters into whether or not it's good or bad, but I
it's
also
the
think it was
difference-
sodomy as
it's
well.
the difference between tragedy and some shit stuff that somebody does.
I was talking here. Now that you brought it up, and I thought this would be in my head. This seemed like a terrible question because I felt like I was alone in my opinion on this. But I've talked to a couple people about it, and they both kind of agreed with me. Is not to downplay either of these things as a tragedy, but which is a more terrible thing?
It sounds like it's right up our podcast.
This is about to be terrible, but I think it's
Oh,
also
boy.
kind of interesting. Who's the bigger victim?
Okay.
The women that Cosby did this terrible thing to, or all of society for having everything that the Cosby had ever brought to us taken away? The Cosby
Invalidated.
Show, gone. All of his stand-up bits, like the Noah's Ark things and all that stuff, gone. Fat Albert, gone. It's all fucking destroyed. So which is the bigger tragedy? 20 or 30 women getting raped, or all of society losing everything he'd given to us?
That depends on how much you like factor in Bill Cosby. Like, is he a huge part of your life? Like, is losing Fat Albert?
Isn't he a huge part of all of our lives? Is my
He's
point,
a
though?
huge part of my childhood.
The
I
Cosby
watched
Show was just like everybody watched the fucking Cosby Show, you know, and Fat Albert and
Fat Albert all the time. I remember the
I
Brown
listened
Hornet.
to all of his stand up, like the freaking
Chocolate cake.
chocolate cake, the Tonto. Dad's great, give us the chocolate cake, yeah, and the Tonto and Lone Ranger stuff, and again the Noah bit, and
Dad playing goalie in the
Dad playing away while Mom's beating the kids in the living room, like
which that's a different time as well. But
Melted butter.
yeah. Everybody leaving like a millimeter of water at the bottom of the water bottle, and they'd all die of thirst because nobody wanted to technically finish the water bottle and have to be the one to fill it back up. Like that's all gone.
It is. I don't know. I think you can still enjoy that stuff and just kind of separate yourself from the things that he did, because as an actor, you think that that's like just a part that exists separately from them.
We lost Leonard Part 6. And Ghost Dad.
Yeah. Ugh. We could lose Ghost Dad. That's
Well,
okay.
on a side note though, I can still watch Mel Gibson films.
Yeah, but he just went crazy and called a lady sugar tits and said he hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
different.
different seeing
He
somebody...
didn't rape anybody.
That's just his
destroy them.
opinion.
True.
Yeah, he destroyed himself, really, and he said some things that
I
will
guess
wash
he's
over.
and I guess
He had a
he's also
meltdown,
admitted
A
to it
self-meltdown,
as well.
yeah. And a self-meltdown's different. You know, it's kind of
Yes.
like Britney Spears shaving her head and attacking people with an umbrella, and then, you know, now she's released new albums and
Yeah,
whatever.
Hasselhoff came back in Kung Fury.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, he did. He
For
made that
being
movie.
for being drunk on the floor eating a cheeseburger. God, that video is the best. Though, watching him drunkenly try to eat a cheeseburger,
It's
like
just
he's trying to
sad.
pick off like onions and tomatoes.
It is terrible.
It's fucking amazing.
So yeah, I think like if you're thinking from a aspect of there's some weird things that come into that, because you're thinking from an aspect of the greater good belongs to the society, but is the good some sketches and shows that a guy made?
Right. More people lost cultural stuff, but a fewer number of people had a more horrific thing done to them.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
well,
going to scar them for life.
Exactly. That's
Whereas
pretty
yours,
bad.
it's like, oh, now my childhood, like, this show isn't
I
a
would-
happy feeling anymore.
Me losing the Cosby Show isn't as bad as a person being raped.
That's
I
what I
would
was
not
gonna-
argue that.
Yeah, correct.
So then, if if 300 million people, all of America losing it, is that worse than one person? Is it worse than 2? Is it worse than 10? Like, what's the
price
exchange
value of a
rate?
rape?
What's the exchange rate of a cultural hit versus?
I think there's a Google app for that.
Oh, yeah, they do, like, break down currency rates.
Currency exchanges.
What is the value of one rape?
You will probably, depressingly enough, get an answer to that.
That's why I'm not looking.
Are you going to Google that?
No, I'm not.
No.
All right, we should probably move
Yeah,
on.
it's bad enough we're already getting
All right,
struck
let's
for
go
this, too.
into recommendations,
Sure.
and then we'll call it because we only have like less than 20 minutes.
Works.
But my recommendation is that you should go and check out the Crippled Systems Movie Pain Train website and our recent reveal that we just put up for The Ridiculous Six. I put a lot of damn time and effort into it, and I'm curious to know what people think of it.
You put a lot of effort into fixing a problem that would have taken a microsecond to have not made.
Oh yeah, by me pressing a button, yes.
But
I
you pressing
caused,
a button, you could have saved yourself a lot of effort.
Yeah, I caused myself like a good 5-6 hours of work cutting 15-second clips of stuffed animals talking into a microphone. I think you guys didn't watch the whole thing because you guys started talking, but I think I did really well with it.
It looked well.
Because I made a lot of good quick cuts to try to make it in there. I had like different head bobs, and I'm pleased with it. So much so,
Well, from now on, we just won't even record it live. We'll do puppet shows every time.
I think we should get puppets. I honestly think we should get puppets. I think Movie Pain Train with puppets would be awesome.
Like puppets of yourselves or just random puppets?
Maybe puppets of ourselves, because I would like to see what somebody would make out of Nathan.
And you. I want
And
to see
me.
you as a puppet.
And me.
If any of our listeners are professional puppet makers, get on that.
We have
Bob's
folks
Burgers
around the
had
area
those,
that we
so-
could easily do that. But I think that could be a potential thing. Like basically, we'd have to learn how to puppeteer as well, or
You think I don't know how to?
I think we could.
How do? Yeah.
But
Again,
we
that's
would
part of my
have to-
sexy times.
Yeah, we would have to be talking underneath the table or something like that. With I think we could do it. I think it would be awesome. I think that would be our angle into this, instead of just doing this with this.
Andy doesn't want to be seen ever.
Yeah. Pretty soon, I want us to get off the podcast, and I'll just produce it.
Finally.
So much, so much so that I ended up being the face of the tournament. You just got the dice.
Well, I'm the one who was running it.
If you consider sitting at a laptop all day running it.
That's exactly what he considers running a tournament. Have you never been to one of Andy's tournaments?
So,
Was he playing Blood Bowl?
No, I was editing that
was
that
editing.
movie Pain Train.
Oh, okay.
And
All right, then.
got the attention of one Adam Loper
Yep.
from Tabletop Minions.
Ooh, I don't know what that
I
is.
don't know. He came over talking to us.
Hi, Adam.
If you're more like into the wide world of wargaming, he's kind of like a catch-all for a lot of the wargaming videos out there. I've been watching him for a really long time, so I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to sound like a freaky fangirl. But yeah, he's a legit guy. He's got a decent YouTube channel.
Yep. So yeah, go check out movie Pain Train, The Ridiculous Six. Let us know what you think. I really want to know what other people think of that. If it is something that we should actually pursue as doing it with puppets.
I don't want to do it with puppets.
You don't? Oh, you don't want to do it with puppets,
Yeah.
but I want to do it with puppets.
What if you got one of those
Hey,
really
I won't knock
lifelike
it. You can
ones?
do it with puppets.
we could film it with puppets?
Lars and the Real Girl is a great movie.
Yeah,
Somebody,
Cherry 2000.
I could have sworn that I saw somebody recently post. Some celebrity was talking about their favorite sex scene ever in a movie was in Team America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But anyway, so yeah, movie Pain Train. Also, give us an idea of what movie we should watch next. I think our next, we have two that are going to be in the bucket for sure. One is Gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be watching that, and the other one is Space Cop because
Yeah.
that's coming on. That's
And-
on its way.
There is another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out.
Yes, there is.
I saw a trailer for that in front of Kung Fu Panda.
We didn't watch. Well, the trailer looks awesome though. It does. Tell me, Bebop and Rocksteady don't look fucking amazing in that film.
Here's a thing I've been wondering because I've been hearing people say that
Yeah,
specifically Bebop and Rocksteady, those three words. I recall Rocksteady and Bebop. Since when does Bebop get top billing?
I think it's only because his name is alphabetically first.
Yeah, but as a kid, I remember referring to them as a group as Rocksteady and Bebop. I remember that being the term. People called them Rocksteady and Bebop.
I should Google that. Which came first?
Do the Google fight. No, the Google fight where the results come up. Do Rocksteady and Bebop in quotes and Bebop and Rocksteady in quotes and see which gets more hits. But
For me, I don't know. Maybe it was Rocksteady and Bebop when I was younger. I was too young to really like make that distinction so much. But that is like the thing about this movie. Like I think I'd said it before. Rocksteady and Bebop, and then the pizza shooter turtle van. Like that shit just gets my dick hard. I think now that I've said it, I think Rocksteady and Bebop is the right way to say it.
It sounds more right.
Yeah, because I say Bebop and Rocksteady, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. But then Rocksteady and Bebop, that actually sounds like that's the way it should be. I mean, other than that, the movie looks pretty decent. If we Pain Trained it, I'd be into it. I'd be down.
All right.
What do you got for results?
I did it, and it doesn't really say results.
Oh,
you didn't do the Google. You have
gotta
to
go
actually go to GoogleFight.com.
Oh, Google Fight. Okay, all right.
God damn it!
Oh, but what the hell?
That's a champion trophy.
This has I don't know if maybe it's because again, if it's a current thing versus an old thing, but this is having Bebop and Rocksteady having a massive advantage over Rocksteady and Bebop.
Yeah, that is not what I would have expected. When I say Rocksteady and Bebop, it sounds like it rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, that is weird to me.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna check to see if it's different on a different device.
Okay, you can do that, but I did it with quotes around it to make sure it did the thing. Ethan, did you have a recommendation?
Nah. Yeah. Brian might disagree because we were just talking about it Friday. Like, I rewatched Serenity and a couple episodes of Firefly
Yeah.
just because it's so good. I know Brian's not a huge fan. Or you just feel like the
Well,
show
he said
didn't
after
go
he
anywhere.
watched Serenity, he became
I understood
Serenity
their-
solidified it.
Yeah, I understood their plight. After watching Serenity, it filled in a lot of the gaps and made things move a little quicker. I felt like they jerked around too much in the actual series. That was my...
It was the character development, and I mean, it got the Josh Whedon effect of not getting a second season.
I just think that, like, trying to hobble on the crutch of character development would be nice if they actually developed into something instead of these halfway people. Like, when was I actually going to know why the priest knew the things he knew about the Alliance or the Shepherd?
Season 2,
probably.
Yeah, like, but
That
could
could
have
groundwork.
Yeah, but that groundwork was like, I don't even think Rome spent that much time laying down their indoor plumbing.
But here's the thing, though: if they had revealed it, then and they did get renewed for season 2, like what were they going to do in season 2 then? If
Supernatural seems to be doing all right with season 11.
Yeah,
I get sick of Supernatural's resets every year. Like I
Well,
like to
that's
have.
what this one's kind of.
it's just every season's a new, bigger, badder guy.
And I had a good conversation with Raylene about this with Blacklist because she got sick of Blacklist. They keep dangling the same shit in front of your eyes for every season. It's like, okay, we're sick of it. But if they resolve it all and then they get a new season, they have to start new stuff all over. And I get sick of Supernatural doing that every year like clockwork.
I guess the formula works for me, so I don't mind the repetition, but I'm a person who prefers repetition in my life.
I didn't like the newest parts of Blacklist anyway either.
I haven't
fact-
watched
the
since
fact
the
that they
previous
just-
season.
Oh, okay.
She killed the guy and then ran away, and then Hulu left it, and then so I didn't watch it ever again.
Yeah.
I feel like the character development in Firefly is a lot like the cock tease of Mulder and Scully in X-Files. Like, it was going to happen. You wanted it to happen, but it never happened until later, like way, way later.
I'm sick of I
watched the first episode of the new season. I have yet to watch more. I need to.
the second episode is very solid.
Okay.
It
First one
feels
was-
like a Monster of the Week, X-Files, high quality, good character. I really like the second one. The first one obviously had to bring everything back, and so it suffered from pilot syndrome because it kind of is a pilot in
That's
some
what it
way.
was. It felt like it was just basically, oh yeah, remember that thing we used to do? Hey, you remember that thing we used to do? Hey, there's a conspiracy.
Yeah, no, I really liked the second episode. It felt like classic X-Files to me. My only issue with the second episode is that I figured out who, like, there's the mystery, and it turns out that there's a person, and, as is oftentimes a thing, you kind of can see the person in the background, except in this, the person's just tap dancing in front of the camera, like, for the first 5 scenes. Like, oh, look, it's that guy again. I bet he's important. But it was okay. It was still a solid episode.
Yep.
And I had somebody shove a letter opener through their ear canal, and it was really fucking disturbing. Raylene's like, I can't watch, and I couldn't not watch, and I regret watching. Because he just takes a letter opener and puts it on your ear, and you're like, no, and he just like puts it in like 3 inches, and it stops. You're like, no, and it just keeps squishing and jerking in further and further. And it was terrible.
I'm gonna have to go watch that now.
Yeah.
All right. So we gotta hurry up.
You were saying just that it's good.
Yeah, like it's a good watch. Like I liked watching.
That's your risky thing. As a
Plain
nerd,
and
you're
safe.
going to recommend Firefly.
Yep.
Oh, going out on a fucking limb there, Ethan.
The recommendation is like if you've never seen it before,
I like
watching
blowjobs and cake too. What are the odds?
Not a huge fan.
Not a huge fan of blowjobs and cake?
I'm kidding. Of course I am.
Wait,
But, like-
now it seems like you're retracting.
Yeah.
No. Who doesn't like?
I like
blowjob
those
cakes?
jobs of blowing. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, that's so good. What is it? But no, like I liked when I first got into it, I watched the movie first. Like it doesn't explain a whole lot.
You watched the movie first?
Yes.
The fuck?
No, I liked it. Then I went back, got the backstory, and then I watched the movie again.
So, how could
something
you
like-
like the... no.
What?
What?
The
Like
movie
when I
is
first got
the movie
introduced
is
to
the
it.
action. If you made it through like 3 episodes of that season and saw the movie first, I think you'd just fall over and be like, "Well, this is fucking stupid."
I liked the stories from each episode. Like I liked that shit.
And then,
Yeah, I agree with Ethan. I didn't watch it in the order that he did, but I agree with the episodes. The episodes had a lot of good character. It had character development, but it just had those characters interacting with each other, and that's what I enjoyed about the show. It wasn't specifically the overarching storyline, but it was more of those characters just. It's like a sci-fi sitcom in a
That
sense.
Bounty Hunter episode is so good.
Early is
Jubal
Jubal
Early
Early
is
probably
amazing.
he is the best character of that whole show. If they made a new series with just about him, Oh, it'd be so good.
It's most
Here I
chilling
am.
threats. Yeah, here I am. Just like, yeah, you ought to be shot.
That is that the same episode where Jane wakes up, grabs a blanket, pulls it down, all the guns are sitting there like, oh yeah, Jane's gonna nope, he's going back to bed.
He just wanted the blanket. He wasn't uncovering the guns. He just wanted the blanket. Yeah, that's good stuff. And that's the guy. It's oh my god, it's just so fucking chilling when Kaylee, like he's talking to Kaylee and she's begging. He just goes, "You ever been raped?" It's like,
Yeah, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Where is this going?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's the most horrific, threatening thing anybody's ever said to a character on a show. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even threaten to do it. He just asks her so nonchalantly, "Hey, you ever?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Building that fear.
fucking awesome.
All right, we gotta go. We start in a hurry.
Yeah.
Okay, so X-Files is good. Watch the new X-Files. But the thing I was actually going to recommend, it kind of ties into previous ones. So Hulu. Most people use Hulu to watch like current shows because that's the advantage it has over Netflix. There's another really fucking amazing advantage Hulu has over Netflix, which is that it has the Criterion Collection, which is, if not every, there might be one or two movies that they don't have for like rights reasons or whatever, like Armageddon or something, but it has basically every single movie in the Criterion Collection, which... The Criterion Collection is the greatest movies ever fucking made. So, you know, go on Hulu and watch stuff on the Criterion Collection. Because it has all those things like Seven Samurai and the Seventh Seal, not to stick with movies that have 7 in the title. But just
What's
Criterion.
in the box, Nathan?
Yeah. Is 7 in the Criterion Collection? I think it is. The other day I watched Watership Down, which is a great kids movie if you like watching rabbits disembowel each other.
Very different from
Oh,
Down
it's
Paris.
fucking traumatic.
Why is
Yeah.
that a kid's movie again?
Because it's about bunnies. And they're like,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
know."
bunnies, and then they just start murdering each other, and it's like, ah!
I remember.
Yeah. Well, it last year it got inducted into the Criterion Collection, so now it's on Hulu.
Nice.
Yeah, because again, all the Criterion movies.
So I'll recommend It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because I, for the longest time, could not even think about getting into that show at all. And I watched the first 2 because I had finished something out and was just like, I need something to watch. And the first 2 episodes were just fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
the best toilet humor of wonderfulness I've ever seen. So I'm going to keep watching it. I think it was because my brother's ex-girlfriend was a real shit dick, and I just, like, I really hated her a lot, and she loved Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah, that can turn people off. But yeah, The Gang Gets Racist is probably the best pilot of a show that you would ever have.
The ending of that fucking episode was perfect. Oh my god. How's that ass?
And the show, so you haven't even gotten into Danny DeVito being on it.
No,
yet.
I haven't.
Like the show really, because that's when the gang is complete. You know, once Danny DeVito's on the show.
Jeff is marathoning it as well. So he just, because the first season is only 7 episodes long, and
Yeah.
then each of them are only 10. So yeah, when Danny DeVito pops in, so good.
Whore.
God.
And again, the Halloween flashback episode has the greatest single sight gag I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, that one, the Halloween one, and the Christmas special. The Christmas special is easily my favorite one ever.
He's talking about all the elves coming to visit his mom.
Yeah.
You know, the Christmas tradition where a whole bunch of elves come over and go upstairs
They
with
give
your
you
mom.
presents.
And they give you presents, and then they go wrestle with your mom upstairs.
Yeah. Charlie, I think your mom's a whore.
Although I don't think that my voice is going to shift anyone who doesn't want to watch it. I'm just saying if you were skeptical of it or had some reason, like your brother's ex-girlfriend was a twat, like, and she liked it a lot, it's worth watching. You'll forget all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it goes into that cringe humor thing. The people who like that, and like
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It
yes.
really is in that same vein. It's basically it's horrible people doing horrible things.
It's blue collar Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. See, he's white collar high class, and they're the blue collar low class, but they're basically the same thing, where they're
Pretty
terrible people doing terrible things while there's train wrecks around them.
Yeah, you see things set up for later on as well, and you're like, oh, that's going to be a callback. Oh my god.
Gang solves the gas crisis. Oh, I'm envious that you're going to get to see that.
That and Who Pooed the Bed?
Who Pooed the Bed is classic. The gang solves the gas crisis.
The game recycles.
You count I'll count the gas while you pour it in.
Yeah. Visually.
1, 2.
I'll do a visual pat down. Yeah. Let's make sure they're right to come in. All right, we should probably call it there.
All right. Have a good night, folks. Go to Waaaghpaca next year.
Yep.
If it's not $50.
That'll be less than that.
It'll be less than that.
Yeah, that was my big turn off. So I'm gonna go next year.
If it's not $50.
Yeah.